Welcome back to Atlassian Team 26. We're streaming live in Anaheim. I'm Alison Kosik alongside Christophe, Bertrand, and we're about to do a fun segment about products right up your alley, but we're about to talk about how work starts and how it gets done with two particular products.
Right, and how to collaborate with a disorganized colleague, potentially.
Absolutely, which is really helpful for a lot of us. I want to bring in Gaurav Kataria. He's the Vice President of Product, Trello and Loom. Welcome to theCUBE.
Thank you for having me.
So, work used to start by, with a meeting, with an email, and now it may start with a video. How is that changing the way teams collaborate and coordinate?
Yeah, I think pandemic really changed the world where we all got comfortable working with distributed teams. Like even if you were in the same state or in the same city, and even in the same campus, you are not necessarily in the same building. So you have to communicate over video. Like that was just the way of life for all of us. And we have lived that for many years. When Atlassian acquired Loom, Loom was the leader and pioneer, a category creator in the field of distributed communication and also asynchronous communication. Because when you're collaborating with people across time zones, you want to get your message across to them without getting on a Zoom call at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night. So how do you record what you want to say and send it to your teams in the same time zone or a different time zone so that they can consume the context at their own time in an asynchronous manner? So that's where Loom comes in. It was a major acquisition by Atlassian almost 2.5 years ago, and we have integrated Loom into the Atlassian platform. It's part of the Teamwork collection, and it's the way to communicate with all of your colleagues all over the world. It's used for one-on-one communication, like I just want to send you a message and tell you something, as well as more broadcast communication where the CEO of the company wants to address 10,000 or 100,000 employees and wants to talk about something. So you can send that message without getting 100,000 people on a Zoom call.
I love it. And Trello, where does Trello fit into here?
Absolutely. So Trello was another one of great Atlassian acquisitions a few years before that, where Trello started out as a very simple to-do list app. Now, a to-do list app could be linear. You just keep writing things down one after another. But oftentimes our brain likes to organize things into buckets and classification. So Trello is what we call a Kanban board. So there are lists of things and there are multiple lists on a board. So you could say that I have things to do related to a new software project I'm working on. That's one list. I have a marketing launch coming up. That's another list. I have kids' soccer practice. That's another list. And by the way, I need to take care of my dental appointment and annual blood work. And that's another list. So you could manage your entire work, including a lot of your personal commitments, all on one board, which is a very visual and very tactile surface. So something that people love about Trello is like writing down things on a Post-it note and then sticking it on your monitor and sticking it on your refrigerator. You can do it on a digital board and you can access it from any device. So it's all real time and it's almost like your second brain. Like you keep track of 50, 100 different things you need to do, all on a nice familiar surface that looks like just sticky boards on a board.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Are you sold? I feel sold.
Right, and what's interesting here is that from a product standpoint, you really have products that are a little bit at the end of the spectrum.
Yes.
in a sense, but it does make a lot of sense when you think about it. The list, the organization, the complexity of the ambiguity of what to prioritize versus the communication, or with the communication, which is, of course, absolutely necessary. So let's talk about AI, because obviously, let's be real. It's going to be driven by AI. It is driven by AI already.
Yeah.
How is it changing both products or the combination of the products and the experience of the user?
Sure. So let's start with Trello. One of the the framework we use is capture, organize, and get stuff done. Now, in the age of AI and in the digital age that we live in, there's too many things that are thrown at you. So you are in Slack, Microsoft Teams, email, you meet people, you get on video calls and Zoom calls and so on. Ton of things get thrown at you. I mean, I'm sure you have notifications on your laptop, top right thing going bling, bling, bling. So if you have 50, 100 different things, how do you keep track of all of that? So Trello is good at capturing everything. So it integrates with all of your your tools that you love and use all the time, capture everything in one place. But now, if it is in one place and it's a million long list of things to do, you'll never get it done.
Right.
So the second thing is, how do you organize it? And that's where I was telling you, you could have lists on a board and you could say, okay, all things related to this project go on this list, everything related to my dental appointment goes there, and you can kind of keep them visually organized and yet nicely separated. So that's where the organization comes in. And AI is also good at not only capturing, but also organizing things and nicely categorizing them. And then the third part is getting stuff done. It's nice to capture things and organize them, but in the end, what matters is, did you get them done?
You want to check the box.
You want to check that box. So up until now, AI wasn't very good at getting stuff done. I mean, it was good at summarizing things and extracting an important thing. But now we have entered into an era of AI agents, which can be a long-running task. Yeah, I mean, you can assign it to an AI agent and let it complete. So if you had 50 things to do, maybe you will do 20 yourself, and 30 you will assign to different kinds of agents. So that's where the whole getting stuff done is a new paradigm altogether using AI agents.
Right. Sorry, I was going to say, we're well past the copilots.
Yes.
That's, I think, the main point I want to make here.
Yeah.
That was great. Everybody's doing that. The real value is getting agents to do stuff for you, report back, and hopefully do it right.
That's right. Yeah. And one of the things, people who are very early in adopting agents, they're finding out that it can be hard to keep track when you have 20, 30 different agents doing things for you. I mean, it feels very powerful, like you're like a super person with 50 agents working for you, but how do you keep track of those agents and how do you visualize it? So Trello is uniquely good at visualizing that information. So you could have like 20, 30 different things going on. It's nicely categorized, organized on your board so you know what's going on, and AI can then prompt you, I need your input at this step. So that's where Trello comes in. Now, when you communicate with humans, oftentimes we communicate by talking. Like, I mean, I don't write a long 2-page long text to you, but normally when we are communicating with AI, we are communicating in long prompts, right? I mean, you may have seen some very, very long and sophisticated prompts. I think it's just the beginning where people have used the first modality, which is a text modality, to communicate with AI. The next modality is people start speaking with AI. And I'm sure you have seen plenty of examples where instead of writing a long prompt, you are speaking and then AI picks up your work purely based on a voice prompt. The third paradigm is more multimodal communication. Like if I want to tell AI to do something, oftentimes I want to point at things. I want to say, change this thing on the website, move this button 3 pixels to the right, match this color with this color, make this font a little bit bigger, and that's how I'll talk to a human being.
Right.
But we don't talk like that with AI right now. With Loom, we are making Loom make human to AI communication just as seamless, that you can record yourself and point to things on a screen. So for folks that are not familiar with Loom, Loom is a way to do video communication where you can record your screen. So you have the human face and the voice and kind of the sentiment, and you have some hard information that's on a screen. So you could point to things on the screen, and Loom will capture everything, like where were you pointing on the screen, what URL was it, like was it a Figma asset, was it a page, a Google Doc or a Confluence page, and where exactly were you pointing? It can capture everything from your browser console session and then pass it to AI. If it's a bug that needs to be fixed, that thing can get captured into Jira. Jira can assign a coding agent and fix that bug, and all the context is passing through where a human is describing things by sharing their screen.
Right.
And in your own voice, in your own tone, not by writing a 2-page long prompt.
I love it. And so is there a way to quantify how much these products are helping organizations, businesses, average people?
Absolutely. So these products have been transformational products. I mean, both of these products are category defining and category leading products. And over the last 10 years, they have had very large adoption globally all over the world. I think we are now entering a new paradigm where the productivity will be defined not just by how many tickets do you have or how many videos you recorded, but really how did you increase the productivity of an organization. So as more and more agent on invocations will happen, and as you saw in the keynote today, Mike was talking about at Atlassian, we have 5 million agent invocations a month. In my opinion, that number is just the beginning. We are going to see this number become 100x or 1000x pretty soon. And that's where you get the unleash in productivity, which will not be defined in percentage terms. So it won't be like, I'll tell you, 5%, 10% improvement in productivity. It's going to be more like 5x, 10x increase in productivity.
Well, which actually brings up another point. Yes, until or unless you can control cost.
Yes.
Because right now, 10x, 100x in terms of invoking agents, well, that has to come from somewhere.
Right.
You're going to have to pay for that. And I wonder whether it is realistic and whether actually we shouldn't be thinking about a controlled growth. And is that something that you're considering as well? Because obviously now you have the tools to do that. Yes, you could go at scale, multiply this by 100, but is it realistic? Shouldn't we control this and match it with the cost and the ROI for the organization first?
Right. So Mike talked about 3 things that increase the productivity of an organization. Oftentimes we just talk about the first one, like, is it accurate, is it good? The speed is another one.
Right.
Like sometimes you want to assign a task, but you want to also get it done faster. So rather than it taking 8 minutes, you want it to get it done in 4 minutes.
Right.
And then the third one is cost. So we want all 3, and Atlassian has built Rovo as a way to harness various different agents and assign different tasks to different agents, doing a trade-off between these 3 things. So you could say, I need this fast. And I'm willing to pay more tokens for this one or pay more cost for this thing. This other piece, I need a more specialized answer. Even if I can get 1% more accurate, I can wait longer because that 1% more accurate matters to me. So these are the trade-offs you would make. And I mean, I think a year ago, almost everyone was talking about all these LLMs are getting commoditized. If you look at what has happened in the last few months, they're not getting commoditized, they're getting specialized.
Yes.
So it's not like you can use just one model for everything. It's like even within coding, models are getting specialized. So, I mean, previously people would have said, okay, there's going to be a model for coding and a model for architecture. It's like not only that, even within coding, you will see specialization of models. So the harness is actually quite important. It's not simple as take a query and send it to an LLM. It's very intelligent thinking in terms of what query goes to what LLM to balance accuracy, speed, and cost. And that's the capability that we have built.
So do you think we're heading toward a world where most routine work is initiated by a recording or typing something instead of, the way we used to do it?
I mean, I would say where we are right now, where we are writing long text prompts, that certainly does not feel like the right future to me. Because who has time to write a 2-page long prompt? The more human communication would be, I just talk. And not only talk, like you and I are talking right now, so you're seeing my expression, my intonation of my voice. You're even seeing my gestures as I'm pointing towards things.
So prompting the way we're doing it right now is just going to be like a dinosaur. So.
I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah.
So the way we communicate with AI is going to be very much like how we communicate with each other as humans. And the biggest investment we are making in Loom, which is our video communication product, is to make that human to AI communication human, where you can just talk and point at things and have your kind of expression and emotion into it. And this is not just one way. You have to now think about in the reverse direction. When the AI communicates back to you, do you want a wall of text to say that this is done? It's like, no. I also want to see AI's work in that same visual format. So if I asked an AI agent to maybe make some changes on my website or fix a bug in my application, I want to see the proof of work in the same video format. So I want AI to not just say done, I want to actually see what did you do? Like, did you actually move the button 3 pixels to the right? Do you change the color? It's like the AI can actually produce proof of work in the same video format. So the communication becomes the more natural human communication. Like I tell you, point at things, and then the way AI communicates back to me is the same way. It tells me and it points at things. Right. Like, okay, I get it. It's done. Yeah.
Right. And what's interesting, I think you're approaching this as a company from really a wide context perspective, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it is very interesting. So I think there may be others out there that focus more on number of lines of codes generated.
Yeah.
Do you think that, again, using your two sort of what looked like extreme products in terms of the spectrum, actually very complementary solutions.
That's right.
Do you see this approach as a differentiator for you long term?
Absolutely. I think Atlassian, because we have so many different capabilities that we bring to the table, there's one common thread that ties all of them together, and that's the context. I mean, in this morning's keynote, Mike talked about how important that context is, and we want to keep growing that context, make it richer, and then make it surface in every different space or area where you are in. So, and not only in first-party Atlassian applications, including if you're using Claude or Figma or Cursor or any other tool, we want this context to be available in any place where you are at, and you can get access to that data through the Atlassian MCP server. So whether it's videos that you're recording for AI and you're using Claude Cowork, you can access the right information from the teamwork graph using the Atlassian MCP.
Excellent.
Great conversation. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for stopping by theCUBE.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Wonderful.
You got it. And you've been watching theCUBE, the leader in live technology coverage and enterprise tech analysis. We'll be right back.